"I just want to see my balance," she whispered, standing at the end of a long line in a crowded bank, her voice trembling as though every word cost her strength. "If you're watching this, don't skip, because what happened next is something no one in that bank would ever forget. And before the story ends, you'll find yourself wondering how many silent battles walk past you every single day. Like this woman, like her secret. And hey, if powerful, emotional stories inspire you, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you never miss another one." The automatic doors slid open and a sharp breeze rushed in, carrying with it a thin elderly woman wrapped in a faded shawl. Her shoes were worn, her hands cracked from years of labor, yet her back remained determinedly straight. Some customers gave her quick glances, others ignored her entirely. And near the counter, leaning against polished wooden desks, stood a young man wearing an expensive suit. Adam Harrington, the bank's newest millionaire client, known for his booming real estate success and sarcasm that often walked just a step behind arrogance. He had come to finalize documents for another huge investment, tapping his fingers impatiently as the teller processed his papers. Just behind him in line stood the elderly woman, holding a small fabric pouch close to her chest as if it protected her entire world. "I just want to check my balance," she repeated softly to the teller when her turn finally came. The teller's smile faded into routine politeness, but before she could answer, Adam chuckled under his breath, loud enough for those nearby to hear. "Balance," he smirked, tilting his head without hiding his condescension. "Ma'am, it costs more to take the bus here than what most people in your situation have saved." A few customers snickered. The woman's fingers tightened around the pouch. Her cheeks flushed, not with shame, but with something deeper, something that looked like memories pressing against her heart. She didn't defend herself. She didn't snap back. She simply stood taller, eyes shining with unshed tears that weren't weakness, they were years of silent endurance. The teller called the next customer, but she held up a fragile hand. "Please," she said. "I haven't checked my balance in a very long time. I need to see it now." Something in her tone silenced the room, not loud, not angry, but heavy with a weight no one could name. The teller hesitated, then gently took the woman's old, nearly torn account book. She typed in the number. The clicking of keys echoed through the hall. Adam crossed his arms, impatient. Someone near the door muttered that the small deposit accounts took too long. But the teller's face suddenly shifted, confusion, disbelief, her breath catching in her throat. "Ma'am, are you sure this is the correct account?" The woman nodded slowly, her gaze never leaving the screen. The teller swallowed and turned the monitor toward her. At first, Adam leaned in casually, curiosity more than anything. But the moment his eyes fell on the screen, his smirk vanished. The number shining on the display had 8 digits. Not $8. 8 digits. A balance large enough to buy half the building Adam lived in. The bank went silent, like everyone was holding the same breath. Adam blinked, stunned. How is that possible?" The elderly woman lowered her gaze to her trembling hands. 42 years ago, she began softly, "My husband and I opened this account. He was a schoolteacher, I cleaned houses and washed dishes in restaurants. We didn't have much, but every month, we put in whatever we could. Our dream was to send our son to college one day, so he wouldn't suffer like we did." Her voice cracked, "Just once. We never got the chance. He died when he was 7. A gasp rippled through the line. I couldn't bear to touch the money after that. Not a single rupee, not a single dollar. His dream, his future, I kept it safe, like he was still here. I didn't know it had grown so much." She smiled sadly. "I only came today because my landlord raised the rent and I wasn't sure I could keep my little room." Adam felt something inside him shift, something pride had buried long ago. He cleared his throat, eyes suddenly burning. "Why didn't you ask for help?" he whispered. She looked up at him, eyes soft, kind, without anger. "I never wanted charity. I only wanted dignity." Her words hit harder than any insult could. A silence held the bank until Adam reached into his briefcase and pulled out a document, one he had been ready to sign moments ago. But he didn't. His pen hovered over the page, and then he placed it flat on the counter. "I'd like to cancel this investment," he said firmly. The manager hurried over, startled. "Mr. Harrington, why?" Adam glanced toward the old woman. She didn't look at him with expectation, just quiet grace. Because, he said gently, I've been chasing money so long I forgot what it's for. He turned to her, voice steady with respect. Would you allow me to help you secure your future? Not because you need charity, but because someone as strong as you deserves peace. Her lips trembled. Tears finally broke free, not of pain, but release. You remind me of my son, she whispered. Adam bowed his head, humbled in a way he'd never experienced. I hope one day I'm worthy of that. In the days that followed, Adam used his influence to ensure she lived in comfort, not luxury, but dignity, just as she had wished. He set up a scholarship fund in her son's name, helping children who dreamed of education but lacked the means. The news spread quietly, but the core of it lived strongest in that bank, in those who had been there to witness the moment pride bent its knee to humility. Months later, Adam walked into the same bank. No suit, no arrogance, just a man learning how to be better. New customers whispered, recognizing him, but he didn't care. He stood in line behind others, patient this time. And every so often, he remembered the woman's voice. I only wanted dignity. When life challenges you, when pride blinds you, when judgment comes too easy. Remember this story. Remember her balance wasn't in the numbers, but in her heart. Before this video ends, take a second, like this story if it touched you, subscribe so these messages keep reaching others, and comment one thing you're grateful for today. Because somewhere out there right now, another silent warrior is holding their balance just as tightly, not money, but memories, and praying someone sees beyond their appearance. And maybe, that someone is you.